The rain poured heavily that night. Thunder rolled across the small town as a young woman named Aurora stumbled into the hospital, clutching her swollen belly. Her screams of labor echoed through the empty halls. Nurses rushed to her side, but it was Nurse Chinya who stepped forward with a calm smile. "Don't worry, my dear," Chinya whispered, holding Adeora's hand. "You and your child are safe with me." Hours of pain passed, but finally the cries of a newborn filled the room. Adeora wept tears of joy, exhausted but grateful. She looked at her baby boy and whispered a prayer of thanks. Chinya, with her gentle touch, said, "Rest now. Let me cleanse your baby." Adeora nodded weakly, trusting her. She had no reason to doubt her nurse. Everyone in town trusted Nurse Chinya. She was seen as a savior, a woman who had delivered hundreds of babies safely. But behind her smile, a darkness lingered. As Adeora drifted into sleep, too tired to notice, Chinya carefully cut away a piece of the umbilical cord that remained attached to the baby. She slipped it into a small black nylon bag hidden beneath her gown. With practiced hands, she washed the child, swaddled him, and returned him to his mother. Adeora kissed her baby's forehead, never knowing that something sacred had been stolen from him. This was not the first time. For years, Chinya had been doing the same to other mothers. Each cord, each piece of flesh, sold for huge sums of money to a powerful pastor in the city, Pastor Enoch. He always welcomed her with envelopes of cash, his church growing richer, bigger, and more famous with every delivery she made. The mothers never suspected. They only saw Chinya as their helper, never realizing that with every birth, she was selling away their future. And Adeora, the young mother who gave birth that rainy night, her life was about to change forever. Because what Chinya took from her that night would not only silence her womb, but also expose a secret so dark. The entire nation would rise in anger when the truth finally came out. Months passed after Adeora's delivery. At first, she and her husband tried for another child, but nothing happened. The joy of her baby boy was slowly replaced with sorrow as she realized. Her womb had gone silent. Doctors told her, "You're healthy, everything looks fine." But deep down, Adeora knew something was wrong. She wasn't alone. Across the community, other women who had once given birth suddenly found themselves barren. Families began to break apart. Some men abandoned their wives, accusing them of witchcraft. And through it all, Nurse Chinya continued her dark trade. With every delivery, she slipped away with another umbilical cord. At night, she traveled to the city, where Pastor Enoch welcomed her with open arms. He paid her handsomely, his church expanding like wildfire. New buildings, new branches, endless testimonies of miracles. People called him a man of God. They never knew the price being paid in silence. But fate has a way of exposing hidden evil. One night, after Nurse Chinya's shift, her husband Abina arrived to pick her up from the hospital. He parked outside Pastor Enoch's compound, waiting patiently. Then he saw her, his wife, dressed in her uniform, slipping quietly into the pastor's house with a small black nylon bag. She hadn't noticed him. His heart pounded as curiosity got the better of him. He pulled out his phone and pressed record. Through the half-open window, he saw it clearly, Nurse Chinya handing over a blooded umbilical cord. Pastor Enoch smiled, stretched his hands toward the heavens, and whispered, "Thank you for making my church grow." Abina's blood ran cold. He didn't understand what he was seeing. He wanted to rush in, but fear held him back. Moments later, Chinya stepped out of the building, smiling as if nothing had happened. When she entered the car, Abina asked, "Where did you go?" She lied smoothly. "I went inside to pray with Pastor." But Abina could still hear the pastor's voice echoing in his head. "Thank you for making my church grow." That night, unable to sleep, Abina's suspicions deepened. He returned to the hospital alone, sneaking into the CCTV room. One by one, he reviewed the recordings of childbirths. His hands shook as he saw the truth with his own eyes. Each time a baby was born, Chinya secretly cut a piece of the umbilical cord and hid it. He couldn't deny it anymore. His wife was selling destinies. Abina tried to confront her, but the lies were endless. The burden became too heavy. At last, he took the video and the footage, and with trembling hands, posted it online. In less than 5 hours, the nation had seen it. Anger flooded every corner. By dawn, a furious crowd gathered outside Chinye's house. Mothers wailed, men shouted, some carried petrol, ready to burn her alive. At exactly 6 in the morning, they dragged her out, half-dressed, screaming for her to confess. Some cried, others spat at her. "Who are you working for?" They demanded, "Tell us the truth." Terror gripped her as she saw the fire and sticks raised high. She could no longer hide. With a trembling voice, she finally screamed a name. "Pastor Enoch." The crowd gasped. The great pastor. His secret had been exposed. Silence fell for a moment, before erupting again in chaos. The man they all respected, the miracle worker. The name rang through the crowd like thunder. Pastor Enoch. At first, many refused to believe it. How could the man who healed the sick and built churches across the land be involved in such darkness? But the video was there. The husband's footage was clear. And now, Chinye's confession sealed it. The people turned their anger toward the church. By midday, thousands filled the gates of Pastor Enoch's grand cathedral. Shouts of rage echoed as men pushed through the doors. Women cried out the names of their unborn children. Inside, they found the truth. Hidden rooms filled with jars, bundles of dried umbilical cords, strange symbols and ritual objects scattered across the floor. It was no house of God. It was a shrine built on stolen destinies. The once mighty pastor was dragged out in shame, his fine suit torn, his face beaten. The same people who once knelt at his feet now spat at him, cursing his name. His empire of miracles crumbled in a single day. Chinye was paraded beside him, her face swollen from the mob's wrath. No more lies, no more hiding. Both of them were handed to the police, surrounded by angry villagers demanding justice. That night, as the flames consumed Pastor Enoch's church, the sky glowed red. The cries of the people filled the air, some weeping for their stolen wombs, others shouting in victory that evil had finally been exposed. The nation had seen it all. No mask could ever cover their shame again. And as the smoke rose higher, one chilling truth lingered in the hearts of everyone watching. Evil can hide in holy places, but no matter how long it takes, the truth always finds its way to the light.